And finally tonight, the newest edition of Armed with the Faith has been delivered by the Knights of Columbus to the Military Archdiocese headquarters in Washington, D.C. Archbishop Timothy Broglio blessed the first 100,000 copies, which will be sent around the world to active duty U.S. military personnel. Its special design makes it safe and durable for those in frontline conditions. The Armed with the Faith prayer book has reached an estimated 600,000 U.S. service personnel since 2003. And joining me now is Patrick Kelly, Supreme Knight of the Knights of Columbus. Mr. Kelly, welcome back. Great to be with you. First off, I want to take the time to thank you for your service. I know that you served for 24 years. And if you don't mind, can you share just a little bit about your time in the Navy and also how your faith played a role?
Yes, yes. Thank you for having me, Tracy. And I would say being in the military, I was in the Navy, was one of the best things I ever did. The opportunity to serve and to be with so many great people. There was a great sense of camaraderie there. And, it actually led me to my work with the Knights of Columbus, I think, because of the ethos of the military is one of service and sacrifice. And that's really the same with the Knights of Columbus.
Absolutely. And I also now want to get back to Armed with the Faith prayer book. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and also why the Knights of Columbus started the initiative?
Yeah, well, this initiative, this prayer book, Armed with Faith, is something we've been doing since 2003. And what it does is it gives our military members deployed, it gives them a prayer book that they can keep in their pocket that has really wonderful Catholic prayers, but, the standard Catholic prayers, obviously, but also prayers that are very tailored to the strains and the stresses of life in the field and life in the military. So we just delivered a new edition, our 6th edition of this prayer book. We delivered 100,000 copies this week to Archbishop Broglio, the Archbishop for the Military Services. And it's my first edition as Supreme Knight, so I'm particularly proud of it. But it's a great way actually to help our military members.
Yeah, I want to talk about that a little bit more if you don't mind. And you obviously have a personal connection to this, being in the Navy for so long. How do you think it will help servicemen and women strengthen their faith? And why is that so important?
When you're serving in the military, and I know this from personal experience, you can be very far from home. You can feel a great sense of loneliness. And so being shored up in your faith is really, really important. And so that's why we've produced this prayer book. It's durable, so it's laminated. You can kind of bend the pages. And I know that a lot of military members actually carry it with them. They put it into their pockets. So it's really, it can hold up under damp conditions. And it really, I just think, is important to remember our service members and what they go through. They're very young often, and they're far from home, and they need that. They need chaplains, and they also need prayer, right, to help them get through everything that they're facing.
They absolutely do. It's so important. I also want to talk about this documentary that you have by the same name. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and where we can watch it?
Yeah, you can go to the Knights of Columbus website to watch it, kofc.org, and it really is. It's about the Knights of Columbus legacy of service in the military. We go back 100 years with this. We served members of the U.S. military and all Allied forces in World War I. And my grandfather was a member of the Knights of Columbus, and he was in World War I. And so this film kind of traces the legacy of our involvement with the military, but the importance of military service and the importance of that as Catholics, we really have a strong sense of military service and a strong sense of patriotism. I mean, the two are connected, and it's to be a strong Catholic and to have a belief in our nation and the best that our nation has to offer. Those two things go hand in hand.
And before I let you go, any final thoughts on this Veterans Day?
Well, I would just like to thank our veterans for their service and their sacrifice. Sometimes that is not remembered, but today is a special day when we really have to think about the freedoms that we have, and this great country that we live in. And we need to thank veterans for that, because they are one of the reasons why we have this great country.
Yeah, and we thank you again for your service and for being here tonight. Supreme Knight Patrick Kelly, thank you again.
Thank you, Tracy.